This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
It is the Tuesday edition of the Morning Drive on Lubbock Sports Station. Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com with Brendan Riker, who's in for Jeff McGuire this morning, and Jamie Lent. I'm Chuck Heinz. It is great to have you with us today here on the Morning Drive. We will come to you as per usual from the First United Bank studio. Take your thoughts and comments on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to Double T 97.3.com for that of the mobile app. Visual Edge IT hotline at 2 is open at 806-771-0973. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you.
And to you as well.
Well, thank you. I'm not Irish, nor I don't believe you are either, right?
I think there's a little bit there.
A little bit there. Brennan, do you have some Irish in you?
I don't think so. I think it's mostly German.
Mostly German. Okay, well, that probably makes some sense. The first question I have for you today, it's a burning one regarding Tech baseball, and we will have it on the air for you today at 6, so 12 hours from now. Jamie will be over in Dallas at Dallas Baptist as Red Raider baseball on the road today. Balls and strikes at 6:30. Will the fellas have green caps today?
Yes.
Oh, awesome. See, and that's it, right? No, not green tops or anything like that, right?
I think there's belts and socks involved usually.
Okay, all right. Mm-hmm. Does that get you get a little extra juice flowing?
Does not.
Does not. Okay. I think I would have.
I think it's great that they do it. I think it's cool. I'm sure the guys think it's fun, but yeah, I don't know about extra juice.
Okay. Do you get one of those caps, or does that?
Yeah. They usually give me one.
Okay. Nice. So that's really cool. So that will come your way tonight as Tech takes on DBU. 1-2 of 3 over the weekend. I was out yesterday, so I didn't get a chance to visit with you about it. But, I mean, the Friday night game and the Saturday game, Friday night really went well from a pitching standpoint with Lucas Perko, but Sunday not so much, when you give up 18 runs. I'm sure that took a little damper off of things, but, I mean, still, you won a conference series, right?
Yes, you're happy with that. Absolutely. At the same time, you gotta play better than you did on Saturday and Sunday if you're going to be a postseason team.
Yeah. But like I said,
but it's good to win Big 12 series, and Kansas is expected to be a good team, so that was a good series win for the Red Raiders. You don't have to apologize for it. Yeah,
get off to the good start from a conference standpoint. So now you've got DBU tonight. They'll pose an interesting matchup, although maybe not quite as good as they've been in the past. Jamie, at 11-9, or is that I think
deceiving? I think that's fair to say. They've probably played a tougher schedule than you, but yeah, I think they don't appear to be quite as good as they have been other years. Is
that for them kind of a circumstance of what's going on with money and name, image, and likeness?
No, I don't think so, because they're a school that, for example, they cut their tennis program to save money so they could spend it elsewhere. So I would imagine part of that is to make sure that they're competing at the highest level that they can in their one Division I sport, being baseball.
Yeah, because they've taken great pride in what they've done from a baseball standpoint, as well they should. I didn't realize they just had the one Division I sport that was baseball. Just one. Mm-hmm. Just one. So kind of putting all their eggs in one basket. But, I mean, it's proven to work out really well for them.
Yeah, I mean, they play – Brendan can speak to this, but they play in the Lone Star Conference, right? They're in the same conference as LCU and other sports. Yeah.
And they don't have women's basketball. They have men's basketball, and their men's basketball program is usually hosting regional tournaments. Past 2 years they've had, and they've won the league in men's basketball.
Yeah.
So there you go. Marquise right away asked this question. Mr. Lent, I mean, he's being very formal with you this morning.
It's very kind of him.
How's Tech baseball holding up so far this season, and what's the near future looking like?
How are they holding up? I think they feel good about things. I mean, I don't think they feel like they're a finished product by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think any baseball team does, but I think that if you I think the start that you're off to at what is it now, 13-6?
13-6, yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be. I think that would have been acceptable to them. So I think they probably feel like they're heading in the right direction. Probably would have said, yeah, we expected this out of our offense, and that's no surprise. Thought you were going to have a good offense, and that has definitely been the case. But at the same time, feeling like knew it was, to turn things around on the mound. It was going to, it was a work in progress, and I think that's what you are now.
Yeah, but man, when you look at the scoring for this team, especially what you're coming off of, and I realize that maybe the level of competition wasn't what you're going to see, for the rest of the year, but still, you've got to put the ball in play. I mean, against Albany, 16 and 15 and 8, and then 10, and then against Cal Bakersfield, 17 and 14, and even in a loss, 8 runs, and then Penn State, 15, 21, 14. You had the loss to UTSA, which was a comeback to get you to that point, and you had an opportunity to either tie or take the lead to potentially win it, and then 10, and then 11, and then 10, and even in the 18-7 game, you put up 7 runs. So, would you have at the start of the season back on February the 12th, if I'd have kind of started rattling off some of those numbers, would you have been just a little bit surprised because of the high scoring nature?
Yeah, maybe a little bit surprised, but I just looked up and down the lineup watching fall scrimmages and watching spring scrimmages and thought to myself, this team is going to hit. I don't know how much they're going to hit, but I think they're going to be a really good offense. So, I don't know if I would have quite predicted where you're at, but again, I think that it's just it's a you got to stay healthy. You got to have guys that are. I think one of the things that's been positive is that you offensively can score in a bunch of different ways. I feel like you've mixed in small ball a lot better this year than you have in quite some time, and I think that's been good for the team. But yeah, you've got a bunch of guys that can hit the ball out of the ballpark, and at the same time, those guys aren't flailing and chasing and striking out 3 times or 5 times only to hit 1 home run. I mean, you got guys like Hughes that are, still patient at the plate. You've got 3 or 4 guys that have on-base percentages over 500 through this point of the season. So it's a really, really well put together offense.
All right, we will kick this around all throughout the morning. But again, we'll have Red Raider baseball for you on the air tonight as they take on Dallas Baptist University. Balls and strikes at 6:30. Our broadcast coverage begins at 6 o'clock tonight here on Double T 97.3. Just getting started, just underway. You have got plenty of time to participate on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to the Double T 97.3 mobile app. It is presented by Happy State Bank.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
We get this, a little bit of sarcasm, although I think I get it, I understand. I want someone to count how many times McCaslin says compete in a pre- or post-game interview. Well, maybe if we did a better job of competing, he wouldn't have to say it so much.
Man, I would tell you, if you're just going to look at the last few losses, right? The Arizona State, the TCU, and the Iowa State. Do you feel like that team competed much?
No.
I would say no.
Yeah.
So that sounds like the head coach is sending a message.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right. No. Sometimes, it's like...
Or just, not ignoring the fact that his team has not competed.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's not trying to send a message to them, but he's admitting that, my guys aren't competing.
Yeah. How you feeling about the first game against the Akron Zips?
Yeah, I think they'll win.
Okay. This is what Jay Billis had to say, college basketball commentator, expert. I think he's really good.
I think he's fantastic.
Yeah. Really good. There's an argument to be made that Akron had a better resume than Miami of Ohio and maybe was even the better team, even though the Red Hawks won the one head-to-head meeting. The Zips are legit, and they're going to be a tough out. But if Christian Anderson is healthy and can find Donovan Atwell, one of the best shooters in America for open shots, Texas Tech takes us when he predicts Texas Tech to win.
That's really what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
Anderson and Atwell shooting threes.
Yeah. I did find it interesting, and I'm glad that they made this announcement. I'm sure that they were, in a way, protecting their seeding a little bit with the announcement that came out, late on Saturday that Christian Anderson was available to play in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of both. Probably, I think that what you're saying is accurate and that they're protecting their seeding, but I think the second part of it is just I'm sure they were getting asked a lot, so just go ahead and put it out there.
Yeah, I mean, and historically, he's been a guy that has really more commented, Coach McCaslin, more commented on players that aren't going to be available moving forward than, kind of what it looks like as, game time decision usually kind of gets some, some stuff like that.
My guess is that if that was a tight game, that he would have been, Christian Anderson would have been back in the game there in Kansas City.
Yeah, against Iowa State. Yeah.
Yeah. Same with Lawan Watts.
Yeah, right. And there's been, I don't know that there was maybe any need for anything on Lawan Watts, right?
There's need for something, but just him to play better.
No. I mean, just an announcement that his ankle's okay or anything like that. I don't think
anybody was worried about it. I think they're worried more about his game and his motor.
Yeah, his motor. Yeah.
And his ankle.
Right. What do you think is going to happen with the Alabama player?
My guess is that he won't play.
That he won't play?
Yeah. In
the first game or at all?
I would guess at all.
Okay. It's interesting. Apparently Holloway was removed from campus and not with the team 4 days before its tournament opener against Hofstra, which is on Friday. Team spokesman said they found more than a pound of marijuana at his home, leading to his arrest. This is what Nate Oates said on his radio show. We've got standards in our program. We've got ways we've held our guys accountable, and we try to keep everything in-house. Obviously, some of those situations you can't, and this is one of those. We found out about what was going on this morning. I found out this morning. I guess it all went down this morning, and we had to suspend him pending the investigation. Certainly disappointed in his behavior, but that being said, we still love him. He's still our guy. We're helping him get the help that he needs, and we're going to continue to help him whatever way we can. But as far as our team goes, we had a great practice. We're preparing to play without him this weekend. So kind of makes me wonder.
Well, you can't. You come across as pretty pompous or arrogant if you're like, next when we're in the Sweet 16, we plan to have it back.
Right. No, you're right. You're right about that. You can't assume anything. Right.
Yeah, we think he'll be ready by the Final Four. I think we should play him 18 minutes a game in the championship game.
Yes. He is out. He posted a $5,000 bond. He probably had no problem making that. Just from the standpoint that I'm sure he's well compensated for his time there at Alabama. So we shall see. So what's your confidence level of Texas Tech on the men's side getting to the Sweet 16?
Getting to the Sweet 16, out of 10, probably about a 2.5.
Okay. Obviously, you're worried about Alabama. Or are you worried about even Akron getting out of that game?
I don't think that's a gimme.
Yeah. No, I think you're
probably at about a 7.5 for Akron, but stranger things have happened, that's for certain.
I don't necessarily care for the tip time. Usually those early morning tip times like that have a tendency to be a little groggy. Again, if you're playing in the NCAA tournament, you should be fired up and ready to go. They could play it at 4 o'clock in the morning on the moon, and you should be ready to go.
Same tip time for the Zips too.
I understand. But sometimes those early tip times, you get the workers getting there, and they're just everybody's kind of getting their cup of coffee and kind of getting underway. It just seems like the first kind of 8 minutes of the game are a little sleepy. So hopefully the Red Raiders come up fired up and ready to go and after it. Because they haven't played too many.
Because they haven't been fired up, ready to go, and ready to get after it really in their last 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, light up. Somebody needs to light a match.
If we see a team that looks groggy and it doesn't seem super motivated, we'll recognize them.
Yeah, right.
Because we saw them last Thursday.
We did. Yeah, we did.
After about 5 minutes were gone by in the game.
Yeah,
we saw them that last Tuesday against TCU.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this is about, does this team have the desire.
They want to keep playing.
Right now, they to me, they just don't look like they're as all in as they were a few weeks ago. And that's why I continue to say, it just goes to show clearly JT Toppin was the heart and soul and the fire, the spark plug, the energy, all of that
the
for
engine.
this team. It makes you really appreciate him even more.
Yeah.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Good morning with Jamie Lent and Brennan Riker, who's in for Jeff this morning. I'm Chuck Heinz. Great to have you with us. We come to you from the First United Bank studio. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line, Visual Edge IT hotline is open, 806-771-0973. All right, just to clean up just a couple of things on a spill on aisle 5 with regard to Paul Westhead. He replaced, as the Laker coach, Jack McKinney, who had gotten hurt in a bicycle accident. Okay, Jack McKinney was the head coach of the Lakers. So he gets hurt in a bike accident, and then so Westhead takes over, and then he eventually got fired because Magic Johnson wanted to run a more up-tempo offense.
Okay.
And my friend who sent this to me, she said, which is funny because later that's what Westhead ran at Loyola Marymount, was an up-tempo offense.
Sure.
So at any rate, it all worked out for the Lakers because Pat Riley, who was doing some broadcasting, eventually became the head coach. So
that worked out well for him.
The rest, as they say, is history. All right. 7:02 this morning here on the morning drive. So of the non-conference games that you have left, because you can't count, because you'd have to say the start of the season, the opponents that you faced in Arkansas, Vanderbilt, and Arkansas were very high quality caliber teams. Would you say that Dallas Baptist is as tough a team as you're going to face the rest of the season in terms of the non-conference? You'll play them again here on May the 5th, but would they be as tough as you're going to face?
Yeah, that's probably fair.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That'll be the case tonight for Texas Tech as they'll take on Dallas Baptist.
Let me correct that. You're going to play Oklahoma in non-conference play too.
Yeah, I forgot about
again.
that. Yeah. And that'll be in Frisco on April the 28th. So it'll be interesting to see where Oklahoma is at that point in time.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
See if they have it going like they want it to be going. Do we have a pitching matchup yet?
No, do not.
Any speculation on your part?
Coach Tadlock said on Sunday that it would be Becerra, Espinoza, or Hayes. So one of those 3 guys.
And so you would also think kind of a combination, a lot of guys would get opportunity to throw some tonight, maybe.
Depends how long the starter goes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well,
I'm sure he'll let them go as long as they're effective.
Yeah. Yeah. You would be a really good baseball manager, I think. I think you would be. I think you'd be really, really good. Like if we had. I don't think you want me making decisions.
Oh
no! If we were doing something called Red Raider Baseball with Jamie Lent, and you were the skipper, and you'd say, "Skip, what do we got tonight with the starting pitching?" Well, we're going to throw so and so and so and so and so. Kind of just depends on how long he goes. Okay.
I mean, that's kind of the game.
I know it is.
I know it's different than football and basketball.
But you do really well with that. You do really well with that. It's a great great skill set for you. Anybody surprise you from the weekend in terms of their performance?
No, I don't think so. If there were surprises, there would be maybe some. I was disappointed that your bullpen was not as good as it has been.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I thought you were terrific on Friday night. Maybe you could throw Logan Beavis into there as a positive surprise. I thought he pitched really well, finishing out the game on Friday.
Okay.
Not that I didn't have confidence in him already, but I think he pitched better. That was probably his best outing of the year.
Okay. Lucas Perko, he is proving to be your Friday night guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's been good. Yeah, he really has. No doubt.
I mean, you're not necessarily surprised by that, but you're very pleased by that, right? Or
Absolutely.
Are you surprised by that?
No. I think coming into the season, he would have been one of the guys that I would have felt like this team was going to lean heavily on. Mm-hmm. And so if you were going to have success, you needed him to be a factor, and I think he's proven to be that.
Okay. New catcher this year, Matt Quintanar. Is he above what you kind of thought he was going to be so far?
Defensively, yes. I would say offensively, he's been about where I expected, maybe a little bit below. I feel like he was better in the fall and the spring, but he's still been good. I mean, obviously he had a walk-off hit for you on Saturday and a 2-run home run in that game, but He's been spectacular throwing the baseball and receiving. So he's been better than I thought he would be defensively. I thought he was more of an offense. I mean, he hit over 400 last year in junior college, so I thought he was going to be more of an offensive guy. And I thought he threw well in the fall, but he's really kicked it up a notch, and he's been really, really good.
I missed this particular play over the weekend, but you talked about him yesterday on the morning drive about Lincoln Garcia and one of his plays. I think it was this. Was it the Saturday game that he had the spectacular play?
No, it was Friday.
Friday night. Is that an eventual destination for him, third base, do you think?
I think it's possible. At the next level, at the professional level, it's possible. I mean, he moves well at the shortstop position, makes all the simple plays, all that. He's not he's not super flashy or anything like that, but that play he made to end the game over at third was pretty spectacular.
Yeah. We get this from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Had a friend in Merkel, Texas, that talked to Coach Tadlock at the Iron Horse truck stop in Merkel for about 10 minutes. He was so proud of himself, thought he was a nice guy. He was so proud of himself that he had to call me. Not Coach Tadlock, his friend called him.
Did this happen on the trip yesterday?
I don't know. It must have. I mean, must at the Iron Horse truck stop in Merkel.
If any of you have ever met Tim Tadlock, I mean, he's the same guy, whether he's talking to the richest, wealthiest, most influential, important man in the world, or some guy who's down on his luck. Of all the things that you can say about him as a coach and what he's been able to do here with the program and all that kind of stuff, he's just a regular dude, and he's good people.
So he says
easy to root for.
This same person says, yes, this was on the trip to Dallas yesterday.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Well, I hope he enjoyed the conversation. I'll ask Coach Tadlock about it tonight. I'll tell him a texter, send a message in, and he'll probably tell me exactly what they were talking about.
Oh, Jamie, yeah. he just was interested in our program.
Seemed like a nice guy. He was asking about the team. We had a good chat.
He was on his way to feed his cattle or whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, real dude. Real dude.
That's awesome.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Gerry Glasco on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Service Compression. Committed to service, advanced technology, and field-proven compression expertise in the oil field. See them at servicecompression.com. Now our conversation with softball coach Gerry Glasco.
Hey, good morning. It is 7:15 with Jamie Lent and Brendan Riker. I'm Chuck Heinz, and we go straight to the Visual Edge IT hotline, where we have the head coach of the Texas Tech softball team, Gerry Glasco. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Are you a big St. Patrick's Day guy, or do you just kind of avoid all the distractions that is these kinds of things?
I don't even know what's happening until somebody stomps my toe. I'm the guy that's totally unaware.
Hey, let me ask you this. Sometimes you'll hear sports guys, and I've probably been known to say this from time to time, that, hey, that was a good loss for that team at that particular time because it ends a long winning streak or it ends an unbeaten streak, so you don't have the pressure on that. I kind of got the impression, just in hearing a little bit of what you had to say after Friday's game, that you weren't totally displeased with that maybe that was a good loss for your team at that time to kind of be able to get to them a little bit better.
Yeah, you never want to lose. Like, losing is, I'm allergic to losing. I hate losing. So
I understand.
And I don't hold the corner on that market. A lot of coaches are that way, obviously, right? A lot of people are that way. But there's times when, as a coach, you feel like, your team is not listening, or they're not, they're not practicing with urgency. They've lost focus on how important it is to get better every second, or to utilize every second. And I felt like last week I was sensing, there was a lack of focus or lack of urgency maybe in a day or two leading up to that Arizona series, which would, anybody look at that on paper knew that was going to be a big-time series. And sometimes you just get nervous and you feel that and you don't know if it's real or not. But then when you saw the result of that game, I think it probably was very legitimate. And then the way they responded, especially when they got down, when you lose the first game 9-0, then all of a sudden you look up and you're down 5-1 in the top of the second. It's a pretty dire situation, and then to see them respond in the bottom of the second, and then really take control of the whole game, and then never let up. I thought that was really good. I think we could learn from that. I think it can give us a lot of an experience to fall back on when I feel like they're losing focus. I can remind them of that in the future, and I know I can use that as a coach to help us. So I do think it was a good loss. I think it was a good moment to build on for the future and to use in the future. I wish we could have avoided it. I hate it that it happened, but sometimes things happen for a reason.
Coach, a lot of people head to Florida for spring break and they hang out on the beach and they just kind of chill out for a week or so. You guys have headed to Florida and you're going to play a couple of midweek games against some pretty good teams in Stetson and Florida State, and then you'll play UCF over the weekend. How important are these two midweek games coming up for your team?
Well, I guess I'm breaking news right now. We got to the airport in Lubbock yesterday at noon. And we're getting on a 1:30 flight. And when we got to the counter, the lady said, "We're not showing your tickets." And come to find out, at noon yesterday, the flight from Dallas to Orlando had gotten canceled.
Oh, no.
And so they transferred our tickets till today, which would have got us into Orlando at midnight tonight. And then we're still 4 hours. So we missed the Stetson game, and then we're 4 hours from Tallahassee. So we ended up losing both those games due to airline travel and airline complications. And there's really, we hate that because of spring break, and we had those games scheduled for a reason. That top 10 matchup on national TV on the ACC network with Florida State was a huge game for us, and so we're devastated by that, but we'll be here in town today practicing. We'll practice tomorrow, and then we'll fly Thursday. Hopefully, we'll be able to get to Orlando on Thursday for the weekend series with UCF. And then we'll restructure and try to pick up a game or two somewhere before the season ends.
That's horrible. I hate that you guys are losing those matchups, especially that one with Florida State.
Yeah, that's not even been announced officially yet, but we'll announce it here, I think, at 8 o'clock this morning. So
okay, we won't tell anybody.
Yeah, right. We'll keep it between us.
That's right.
Well, that certainly throws a curveball at things.
My SID right now is shaking his head.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. I mean, if you're here, you're here. I mean, if people people could run into you at the gas station like a guy did in Merkel yesterday and talk to Coach Tadlock, and they could go, I saw Coach Glasgow, and he's still supposed to be in Tallahassee. No, he's not in Tallahassee. He's in Lubbock. Do you find yourself getting that as you're getting more and more exposure through television and interviews and just being the head coach of Tech softball, that you're getting more and more questions around town about your team and getting stopped and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think it's really amazing the difference in, the significance, I guess, of Texas Tech softball in Lubbock, this March compared to last March. And I want to say the fans have been so fantastic this year. I want to brag on our fans. The attendance and the atmosphere, the enthusiasm around the ballpark on game day has just been, so tremendous. And I want to be sure the fans know how much not only the players appreciate it, but the coaching staff. That makes it so much easier for us to recruit. It makes it so much easier for us to get our team fired up. And it's just a great feeling to walk out there and see the outfield bleachers completely full, and then to feel the appreciation from the fans that we're feeling, and makes you want to work hard for them. So we are greatly appreciative for that. But yeah, it's been a whirlwind turnaround, and then it's on the road. The attendance on the road, everywhere we go, we set records. So people want to watch this team play. It's a really tremendous team, and it's an exciting team to watch. It's a well put together team with the speed of Maya Davis, and then the power of all the offensive hitters. Caitlin Terry is turning into, right now might be a candidate for National Player of the Year. And then you've got the reigning National Player of the Year in Naja Kennedy the last 2 years. So just absolutely a team loaded with exceptional athletes that are fun to watch.
Coach, assuming you get to go to UCF on Thursday and play those games, what do we know about UCF coming into this series?
Well, they're really good. They're ranked 23rd in the country. They're a top 25 RPI team, extremely well coached. They just dropped 2 out of 3 to Baylor, which was an upset. They would have been favored to have won that Baylor series, and they were at home. So, they're going to be highly motivated. I'm sure they're having a great week of practice. It's going to be a dogfight down there. It'll be a really tough series for us, but it gives us a chance to get a top 25 type wins. And we need all those we can get going into postseason and the seedings.
Visiting with Gerry Glasco here this morning on the Morning Drive on the Visual Edge IT hotline. Coach, how fast is Mia Williams?
Really fast. Really fast. Maya Davis is maybe the fastest player in the country. And Mia Williams, if you run a 20-yard sprint, she's right on her heels. She and her size, her speed, you just don't expect it from that physically strong of an athlete with that kind of size. But she is a very, very fast player.
Well, Coach, good luck on your travels. And, man, that's you're experiencing stuff that a lot of folks are around the country. So have patience, and hopefully you'll get to Orlando and you take on UCF. Thank you for
anyone traveling by air right now, the 2-hour rule doesn't apply. If you're going to a major airport at any major city, you better allow 3 hours. It's crazy, the lines. And then, with the government shutdown, the TSA lines are only operating at about 50-60%. So it's a phenomenon going on in the weather combined with the TSA lines. It's create a backlog, I guess. But anyway, we think we're good tomorrow or to travel later in the week, and hopefully everything will go good. So things happen for a reason. We'll just take advantage and work as hard as we can here at home.
All right,
this
Coach.
week, and hopefully we can go out and be ready.
Thank you, Coach. That's Gerry Glasco here with us this morning on the Morning Drive. Jamie's question of the day is next.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Good morning with Jamie Lent, and Brendan Riker is in for Jeff McGuire today. I'm Chuck Heinz. Nice to have you with us today on the Morning Drive. We come to you from the First United Bank studio. Take your thoughts and comments on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Visual Edge IT hotline at 2 is open, 806-771-0973. Jamie, I got this communique from a Morning Drive listener and friend of mine, a Facebook friend of mine. I don't know if I've met Jason in person. I may have, and if I have, Jason, I apologize. But he sent me a message this morning that on the Dallas Baptist website for the game tonight, the game time first pitch is at 6:35, because we were wondering about that earlier. If it was 6:32, 6:33, DBU listed at 6:35 tonight, just so you know.
Okay.
So don't be sitting there twiddling your thumb, going, when's the game going to start? 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 Because 6:35 is when the game's going to start.
I've not known myself to have that issue.
Okay, twiddling your thumbs and wondering, come on, chop, chop, chop. Right?
Usually there's duties involved there at the time, so not really doing any twiddling.
Do you ever just randomly find yourself doing this?
Twiddling
your thumbs at all, or fingers?
No.
Jimmy's, he is so level-headed and down-to-earth and grounded and all those things that you kind of look at him and go, picture perfect right there.
No, goodness, no.
Picture perfect.
No. I was last week somewhere. I went into a pizza place to pick up my pizza, and it wasn't ready. And there were a couple other people that were also theirs wasn't ready. And it wasn't the pizza place's fault. Like, I'll order it and then immediately drive there and then expect it. Not really expect it, but I'll go in. Just like, I'm going to be there.
You want it hot and fresh.
Even though they say it's going to take 15 minutes, I'm going to get there in 7.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, I'm here for my pizza.
Right, yeah, I got you.
So whenever it comes out, I'm ready, right? I'm Johnny on the spot. It's not going to sit around. I promise you that.
Some might say you're Jamie on the spot.
Some might say that. Anyway, so I sat down in the little waiting area, and they had 3 chairs there, and the other 2 people were... I had to laugh at myself a little bit, because the other 2 people, of course, I sit down next to them, and there's no look up at all. I mean, they were just deep into their phones. They are deep into their phones. Not that I needed them to look up. I wasn't looking for. I wasn't looking for a conversation or whatever. But I sat there, and then I just leaned back in my chair, and I sat there, and I watched the workers and just looked around the store, and just sat there, just thinking to myself, whatever. And I thought, these other 2 people must be like, look at this psycho over here without a phone in his hand.
Goodness,
He's probably plotting to blow up the world, I imagine.
Yes.
This pizza place may explode here any minute now. I hope my pizza comes out fast. What kind of psychopath would sit here for 5 minutes without his phone in his hand?
I don't know, man. I'd be kind of...
I bet you they were nervous sitting next to me.
They knew that they were next to a celebrity, They were just trying to keep their eyes off of you.
I think they were scared.
They were scared. Okay. We'll have Tech Baseball on the air for you tonight at 6. Play-by-play at 6:35 tonight, according to Dallas Baptist, as the Red Raiders take on DBU. Jamie, just call me crazy here for a second, or really what you'd say is call me normal. Call me for a second here. But anyway.
I've never called you normal. I've called you a lot of things.
Right. I just really feel like really good vibes about this baseball team. I know it's not perfect, but I mean, I feel like at 13-6 and, you're 2-1 in the conference, and, I know that you got a tough week ahead with being on the road tonight and then traveling home. I'm sure the team's traveling home tonight, and then they're flying out to take on Arizona this weekend, and that'll be tough playing on the road. But I feel like that they've got a lot of confidence, and I feel kind of very hopeful about this baseball team. It's exciting to listen to them. They're fun they're a fun team to just be exposed to a degree.
Okay, so, I mean, you go through the first weekend, and it looks okay on the mound. It looks, I would say, a little less than okay at the plate. He had 17 hits for the weekend. Definitely below my expectations. And when I say it looked good on the mound, it looked good on the mound except for 2 innings, which completely changed the feel. You had a blow-up inning in each of the first 2 games, which changed the feel, really, of how that weekend went and how competitive you were against what we feel like should have been 3 good teams. Vanderbilt has proven that they're not that good. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So there's that. You go to Edinburgh, you win a game against a team that you expect to be in the NCAA tournament, and you do it by outscoring them 21-12. Okay, so you're still not thinking to yourself, wow, this pitching staff is dominant, but you are thinking to yourself, well, man, you can score some runs, right? Okay, so I think the stretch of games against UAlbany, against Bakersfield, against Penn State, it was a stretch of, okay, let's figure some things out. Mm-hmm. Let's figure out what our lineup's going to look like. Let's figure out who we can rely on the mound. Fact-finding missions all over the place. Where can we play certain guys? How are we going to do certain things? I think for the most part, you've figured everything out of how you're going to do things. I think you have 10 guys that are going to play a bunch, okay, a good amount. Davis Rivers being the 10th, okay? You have 9 normal guys, and then Davis Rivers is probably going to get his start at least once per week, maybe twice per week, depending if you're playing midweeks. And I think you've settled on the 3 guys that you're going to have in your rotation. You definitely gained confidence with those games. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what you were looking to do and figure a bunch of things out. Now you played last week against tougher teams, and you were like, okay, we can play with better teams. We won a Big 12 series against a team that's predicted to finish way in front of you. You split with a team that was top 15 in the RPI. Okay, you can beat quality teams. All right, now can you do it on the road?
Okay.
You did it at home. You did all the things. Can you do it on the road? And when you see Saturday and Sunday, you're saying to yourself, you have to pitch better if you're going to do it on the road. No question. Did the weather factor in? Absolutely it did. But you got to be a little bit better on the mound than you were Saturday and Sunday if you're going to do that.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.